1-minute rule for getting stuff done. Now, let's begin. Everyone wants to be productive, but sometimes distractions and bad habits, they get the best of you. But what if you could stimulate productivity in just 1 minute? What if you could change your mindset and strengthen your motivation in less than 60 seconds? With the 1-minute rule, you can. The 1-minute rule was invented by author Gretchen Rubin, who wanted to help other people improve their productivity. She realized that most people fall victim to the same strange phenomenon every single day. Well, just think about your to-do list. Is it filled with challenging, lengthy responsibilities? Probably not. More than likely, it's flooded with quick and easy activities which would only take a few seconds of your time. Yet you procrastinate those small chores for as long as possible. You may avoid taking out the trash, making phone calls, or cleaning up your desk. Now, individually, these chores are far from taxing. They demand very little time and almost zero effort, but when a dozen small chores begin to pile up, you feel suffocated under a mountain of responsibility. This is where many people experience unnecessary stress. Just think of each task like one tiny ant. Now, on its own, a single ant is small and insignificant. If you found one ant in your bedroom, you'd probably think nothing of it, right? But what if you found an entire colony of ants? Suddenly, these tiny creatures become a huge problem, and in the same way, one small chore seems negligible. But as your chores pile up, they become more intimidating and your stress begins to skyrocket. That's where the 1 minute comes into play. This technique is designed to minimize the number of small responsibilities in your life. Chances are these small tasks are weighing on you more than you think, but the 1-minute rule can eliminate that stress from your daily routine and over time, shape a more productive lifestyle. Now, the technique itself is really simple. If a chore takes 1 minute or less to finish, just do it right now. Not later tonight, do it right now. Not in 5 minutes, right now. Did you get that? Right now? Just stop what you're doing and spend 60 seconds knocking that chore right off your list. Now, I know it doesn't seem like much, does it? I mean, how can 60 seconds of your time change your life? Well, the 1-minute rule helps you gain control over your productivity. So when temptation and laziness take over, you lose control of your lifestyle. You're pushed around by your own bad habits. But the 1-minute rule organizes your responsibilities, improves your work ethic, and minimizes the amount of stress in your life. It also helps you manage your time while avoiding procrastination, a bad habit many struggle with on a daily basis. So how does it work? How does one simple technique have such a huge impact on your life? Well, think about cleaning your house. On any given day, you have all kinds of household chores waiting to be done. No matter where you live, cleaning your living space is an exhausting activity. There are countless surfaces to clean, corners to sweep, countertops to wipe down. But if you think about it, cleaning your house isn't one big chore. It's a bunch of small chores blended together. Cleaning your entire house could take hours, but each individual chore may take just 30 or 60 seconds of your time. Now, the problem is you let those 60-second chores pile up. You're staring at piles of coffee mugs, dirty clothes, and trash bags. Why? Because you procrastinated the smallest chores over and over again, so something small and insignificant turned into a major issue. The 1-minute rule stops those small chores from taking over your life because you're handling each chore as it happens. Each time you drink a cup of coffee, just wash it and place it in the dishwasher. Instead of throwing your dirty clothes on the floor, spend 1 minute putting your clothes in the wash. If you take care of your small responsibilities in real time, well, those responsibilities will never build up, and that stress will never grow, and your lifestyle will stay clutter-free. Now, of course, housework isn't the only thing that builds up over time. Just think about the unread emails in your inbox. If you spend 60 seconds checking those emails throughout the day, you can avoid a huge mess down the road. The 1-minute rule applies to the workplace, too. Oftentimes, we find ourselves bogged down by 100 little responsibilities at work. You've got schedules to change, messages to send, documents to check, and if you're not careful, those responsibilities can pile up, creating excess stress and ruining your concentration. But the 1-minute rule will keep your day moving in the right direction. Using this technique, you can put out fires as they happen instead of saving them for later. And that way you can make space in your schedule for your most important responsibilities and concentrate on the tasks that matter most. And before you know it, the 1-minute rule will change your lifestyle. It teaches you the power of bite-sized productivity. There's a popular myth that keeps many people from being as productive as they want to be. The myth is that productivity requires hours and hours of your time, that you're only productive when you're taking giant steps in the right direction. But productivity comes in all shapes and sizes. It's often the smallest activities that create and develop the most transformative achievements. So how exactly should you incorporate the 1-minute rule into your life? Well, whenever you find yourself avoiding any responsibility, ask yourself this: how long would it take to get this done? You'd be surprised how rarely we ask ourselves this question. Instead, we act like every little responsibility is 10 times larger than it really is. But if we step back and think carefully, you'll realize that most chores only take about 60 seconds of your time. All right, let's do a little experiment, shall we? I'm going to give you 2 options, and you choose which one you'd rather do. Option number 1 is doing the dishes. Option number 2 is doing the dishes for 30 seconds. Now, which one would you rather do? Most of us would pick the latter, even though they're the exact same activity. Knowing the duration motivates you to tackle that responsibility. That's the beauty of the 1-minute rule. Once you know how little time a chore takes, it's much easier to motivate yourself to be productive. As you practice the 1-minute rule, you'll feel a sense of accomplishment every single time you finish a small task. That sense of accomplishment creates positive momentum. And positive momentum will snowball into more and more productivity. You see, the hardest part of being productive isn't productivity itself, it's that crucial transition from doing nothing to doing something. Yeah, many of us get lost in that transition. You may be unable to motivate yourself to cross the boundary, but using the 1-minute rule, you can easily propel yourself over this frustrating obstacle. And once you start being productive, there's a good chance, that you'll just keep being productive. 1 little chore will turn into 2. 2 little chores will lead into a productive morning or day. Because it really feels good to be productive, doesn't it? Come on. You feel the stress melting away as you knock task after task off your to-do list. Once you start, there's a good chance you won't want to stop. This kind of productivity doesn't just relieve stress, it also changes your mindset. Here, the 1-minute rule really sneaks up on you. On the surface, the 1-minute rule is just about organizing your life, about knocking out all the small responsibilities that plague your daily routine. But underneath, you'll find a technique that promotes a productive lifestyle. It conditions you to confront your laziness, challenge your mental obstacles, and accomplish more on a regular basis. At the end of the day, the primary enemy of productivity is fear. Now, how do you feel before taking on a new challenge? You may feel a sense of dread, anxiety, and self-doubt. And those worries may push you away. But as you practice the 1-minute rule, you'll make a habit of rising to the occasion. You'll practice surmounting difficult obstacles, taking initiative, and overcoming that feeling of fear. Now, at first, the 1-minute rule may help you finish household chores, but over time, as those chores become less and less intimidating, you'll adopt a more active role in your work and lifestyle. You're developing a confident and courageous mentality, which will influence the way you chase your goals. You may find yourself tackling new opportunities at work, unafraid to dive headfirst into your responsibilities. As you begin to find success with the 1-minute rule, you'll also discover new, healthier ways to encourage yourself. Now, this is something we don't cover nearly enough, especially in relation to productivity. Self-talk is critical when facing any challenge, no matter the size. Negative self-talk keeps you from taking out the trash in the same way that it stops you from pursuing a promotion. But the 1-minute rule fosters a more optimistic inner voice. Each time you accomplish something, it provides positive reinforcement. And that reinforcement changes the way you view yourself moving forward. You may realize how capable you really are. You may feel a little more confident or a little more productive. After each accomplishment, your productivity grows and your belief in yourself grows right along with it. Self-belief is a lot like your dishes in the sink. It starts out small and it builds up gradually. Each time you take the more productive path, each time you choose not to be lazy, you're learning to trust yourself, to have faith in yourself, and it all starts with just 60 seconds of your time.